Shema Yasha'Allah Yahweh Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Ahad Shema Yasha'Allah Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Ahad. Hey, Shalom, call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Kagdash. This is Proverbs 24, and we're going to start at verse 3. It says, through wisdom is an house builded, and by understanding is it established, So, it says, through wisdom is an house builded. That house being that man. A man is built through wisdom, all right? It says, and by understanding it is established, by continually meditating day in and day out, on the true understanding of the Holy Scriptures, one becomes rooted. That's what that word established means. It means to be rooted, all right, which is going to be extremely important in the days to come, and even now, Shalakia. So it says, and by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. All right. And so those chambers going into those rooms, So the house is going to become fully equipped. It's going to be equipped with all the precious and pleasant riches, because you can't have a house without anything in it. If you got a house with no bathroom, where you gonna use the bathroom at? You got to be fully submerged in the knowledge, and how do you get that? You got to eat the whole roll. All right. It says, and by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. All right. So by knowledge, that man is going to be fully equipped to be go up against the wiles of the devil, roughly paraphrasing. All right. But I got a few precepts just going into that. This is Sirach 6:37, because you got to be rooted. It says, let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord, and meditate continually in his commandments. And commandments also going into precepts, so you got to continually meditate on the word. He shall establish thine heart, being your mind. He's going to root your mind, while you're continually meditating on his word. It says, and give thee wisdom at thine own desire. Okay. Shalakia. This is Sirach 27:3. It says, unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, his house shall soon be overthrown. That man's going to be overthrown, because that man wasn't being diligent. Scripts go into being a sluggard. It's not good to be a sluggard, because actually, let's go down to the latter part of this chapter. It says, I went by the field of the slothful. I'm starting verse 29. It says, say not, I will do so to him as he hath done to me. I will render to the man according to his work. The Lord is going to reward those according to, their fruit, what they produce, whether it be wickedness or righteousness. All right. It says, I went by the field of the slothful, going into someone that's not diligent. It says, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding, somebody without this truth. It says, and lo, it was grown over with thorns and nettles, and thorns and nettles had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall thereof was broken down. It says, then I saw and considered it well. So he observed and he thought about it. What he seen through his observation, considered it well. I looked upon it and received instruction. Let me get this in another version. It says, then as I looked and thought about it in the NLT, I learned this lesson. So when he saw, he's like, yeah, this is King Solomon writing this. It says, and received instruction. So he learned a lesson from this by seeing the field with the slothful and the man void of understanding. All right. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, and a little folding of the hands to sleep. So all it takes is just a little bit of, getting in the spirit of, oh yeah, I'm just gonna take a few days off, or take a couple weeks off, take a month off. That's all it takes It says, yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that traveleth, and thy want as an armed man. And the enthusiasm that a armed man has, basically a robber. They lacking something, so that's why they're actually on that mission to do get whatever they're getting. All it takes is just a little break. You stay in the spirit of wanting a break. And you be through out here. All right, taking a couple days off, and weeks, months. You be through out here. It says, and so shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth. Let me get this in another version as well. It says poverty. So shall thy poverty come as one that traveleth. Because you're gonna be impoverished. That the true riches is these scriptures. But taking breaks, being in that spirit of taking breaks, the Lord, if one continue on that path and didn't repent, the Lord could take the understanding away from him. All right. But just going into Matthew 7, just going into that being rooted. You got to constantly, be working on yourself and standing in the scriptures, being immersed in His truth. It says, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, talking about the destruction, and beat upon that house, beat upon that man, and it fell not, for it was rooted. Slakia. It says, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. He built himself. He made his foundation upon a rock, being Hamashiach Yahushua. And the rain descended, and the floods came. The great wrath. The floods. Slakia, let me get it. It says, this is Isaiah 59:19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and His glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. And the enemy being Esau, Edom, chiefly Esau, Edom. All right. So when he comes in like a flood, go back to that verse. It says, and the rain descended, and the floods came, Esau, Edom, and and his bands. And the floods came, and the winds blew, talking about the destruction, and beat upon that house, and it fell not. It didn't fall. That man didn't fall, for it was founded upon a rock, Salakia. So that man was founded on a rock, being Hamashiach Yahushua. To reiterate, it says, and everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, Esau, Edom, and the winds blew, talking about the destruction, and beat upon that house, beat upon that man, and it fell, and great was the fall of it, because he didn't make the Lord, Hamashiach Yahushua, his rock. He was, that house was founded on that sand, one of the foolish virgins. All right. Imla Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua Bahashim Kakdash. A double honor to the elders and the apostle great millstone and told me truth from Ruel. Much respect to you brothers out there pushing the truth for all righteousness and sincerity. Shalom, shalom.